Today, we're going to decode AI. We're going to look past all the jargon to really understand how these incredible tools actually learn, and maybe more importantly, how we can talk to them. It's time to go from building the engine to getting in the driver's seat.
AI can feel like this big black box, right? Almost like magic. But the key to understanding it isn't really about code. It's about thinking of it like we're raising a student. A really brilliant, but very, very literal student. So when you look under the hood, you find these technical lists full of terms like supervised learning and one-shot prompting. But instead of just defining them, we're going to turn this whole list into a clear story, starting right at the beginning: how an AI gets its education. All right, let's dive in. An AI's education starts in one of three pretty distinct schools, and each one has its own teaching philosophy. Now, this isn't just a small detail. This foundational training shapes absolutely everything the AI will ever know and do. So the first school is supervised learning, and honestly, you can think of it exactly like studying with flashcards. The AI gets shown a picture of a cat, and it's told, hey, this is a cat. It gets thousands and thousands of these labeled examples, which lets it learn the direct connection between a question and its answer. Okay, the second school is unsupervised learning. This method is much more about pure exploration. Imagine we give the AI a massive library of books, but there's no card catalog. Its job is to just read everything and start grouping similar books together all on its own, figuring out which ones are fiction, which are science, which are poetry, without any hints from us. And our third school is reinforcement learning. Here, the AI learns by doing. Imagine it's learning to play chess. It makes a move. If it's a good move that gets it closer to winning, it gets a point. If it's a bad move, well, it learns from that mistake. It just keeps playing, improving its strategy over millions of games to get the biggest reward possible. So the crucial point here is the difference in the approach, right? Supervised learning is like having a cheat sheet. Unsupervised is all about making your own connections from scratch. And reinforcement is learning through a system of rewards and consequences. Each of these methods builds a totally different kind of intelligence. So after that big, broad education, the AI needs to specialize. This is the next stage, where it goes from being a generalist to a real expert, kind of like a student cramming all night for a final exam on one very specific subject. And his whole specialization process, it's called fine-tuning. You take a massive general model that knows a little bit about everything, and you sharpen its knowledge on a specific topic, like, say, medical terminology or legal documents. It makes it a true expert in that one field. The process has a few key steps. First, you've got epochs, which are basically like rereading the textbook over and over to really make the knowledge stick. Then there's pruning, where the AI strategically forgets irrelevant stuff to focus on what's most important. And finally, quantization, which is like creating a super summarized, efficient cheat sheet. It compresses all that knowledge to make it faster to access. Okay, so once our AI student is fully trained and fine-tuned, the focus shifts completely to us. The AI is ready to go. Now we're the ones who need to learn how to have a good conversation with it. And that skill is called prompt engineering. We can start with the most basic approach, something called a zero-shot prompt. It's really just a fancy way of saying you ask a straight-up, simple question. You give the AI absolutely no examples to work from. You just ask and see what happens. And as you'd probably expect, you get a pretty standard encyclopedic answer. I mean, it's correct, it's factual, but it's not very creative, is it? So what if we want a different style? What if we want something a little more intuitive? Well, watch what happens when we guide the AI a little. This is called a one-shot prompt. We give it just one example of the style we're looking for. By first explaining gravity in a really simple way, we're basically teaching it how we want it to explain the next, much more complex topic. And just like that, the AI's response is completely transformed. It gets it. It adopts the analogy, the simple language, the tone, everything from our example. The core knowledge is the same, but the way it's delivered is suddenly so much more useful and easy to understand. And this is why this all matters so much. Knowing these techniques is like learning the cheat codes for AI. Zero-shot is for your quick facts, one-shot is for getting the style you want, multi-shot is for more complex, nuanced tasks. You can even set a system prompt to give the AI a personality or a role to play. This is how you get much, much better answers. So, after looking at the deep, complex training process and then the art of prompting, what's the single most important thing to take away from these two different sides of the AI coin? It's this. It's really this simple. All of that incredibly complex training, the supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning that builds the powerful engine. But that engine just sits there until someone gets in the driver's seat. Prompting is how you steer. It's how you tell this amazing machine where you want to go. And that really leaves us with a fascinating thought, doesn't it? When we master the art of the prompt, we stop just using a tool and we start having a creative conversation. We move from just giving instructions to true collaboration. And the better our questions get, the more incredible the places our AI co-pilots can help us discover.